so much. It's not just about learning things, like memorizing moves. It's about being able to apply those moves for real under pressure when someone's resisting against someone who also knows the moves and knows how to counter the moves. Does that make sense? So there's so much to learn, and that's just Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Then we have our Taekwondo, we have our boxing, which we didn't even get into today. We have our kicking, which we didn't even get into today. But I tried to stick with some concepts because an hour and a half goes by like that. So here are the concepts I want you to remember. Number one, frame. Create distance. Okay, you have frames that you can use. You want to also remember base and frame. If you keep your hips back and you frame them away, it's going to be hard for them to pick you up. If they can't pick you up, you're pretty much safe from being abducted. Now, we didn't cover punches. We didn't cover a lot of things, but remember, keep your hands up. The other thing we worked on was on the ground. And really, when we're on the ground, frames come into play too. What do you think this is? It's a frame. What do you think this is? It's a frame. Same thing with this. So frames are important, but also managing distance is really important. So like, it's kind of a funny scenario, like I told you to stand like this, but why would you ever be in a scenario where you're standing like this and someone grabs you? Right? It probably won't happen just like that. So more important than anything is just situational awareness. Not getting yourself into a bad situation. Survivability. You know what I mean? Like you watch, I don't know, I watch videos and stuff online of people getting hurt or abducted or beaten up, and I'm like, man, that could have been prevented if you just avoided these three things. So in general, I want you to be a little bit paranoid. Okay, when you're at a restaurant, when you're walking in the mall, when you're driving your car, when you're out with your friends, be a little bit paranoid. Always be thinking about, what would I do if someone came in the door with a gun? What would I do if someone came in from behind me and grabbed me right now? What would I do if all these different scenarios, I'm out with my friends and someone grabs my friend and they're pulling them away? What would I do? If you're a little bit paranoid, you'll be ready. Because what happens with most people is they have that adrenaline dump. And most of you, I'd be willing to bet, have lived like comfortable lives, and you've not been attacked by anyone, not seriously. But here's what happens if someone was to attack you. And I know this because I've been training martial arts for a long time. You have an adrenaline dump. And when your adrenaline kicks in, your coordination goes out the window. You can't think straight. Some people freeze and they don't know what to do. They can't breathe. The adrenaline goes through their body and all of a sudden they become really weak. They're strong for a moment and then they're really weak. And they panic. And all the little moves go out the window. Sometimes people can't even scream. They're so afraid. So you have to kind of put yourself in the mental state of like, what would I do if this happens? And I want you to feel the goosebumps. So, you know what I mean? Like when you think about what would I do? And be ready to fight back. Because the statistics show if you fight back, you're way more likely to survive. But there's a time to fight back. If someone has got you pinned down and your arms are trapped, right, and you can't move, if you waste all of your energy trying to fight back and you're just pushing, you've got about 15, 20, maybe 30 seconds at best before you're done. You're spent. You're as strong as you're going to be in that moment, and then you're just going to get weaker and weaker and weaker. So there's a time to fight, and there's a time to play possum. You know what I mean? Play, submit. Okay, all right, I'm sorry, whatever, I got to say whatever I got to do. And then when you see your opening, go, and go hard, and fight. Because you may only have one opportunity to fight. If someone's on top of you and you roll them over, that was it, you got them. But if they get on top of you again, you think you're going to roll them over the second time? Probably not. They're probably going to learn, and they're going to be wise, or they're going to hit you, and now you're dazed. So there's a lot of things to cover. And I guess my point here is have a plan, be thinking about what happens, talk about with your family, with your parents, with your friends. If you're ever out with them, what do you do? What should you do if something happens? And God forbid something does happen. But if it does, be ready to fight back. Wait for your opportunity and fight back, okay? Most criminals are looking for easy targets. Unfortunately, when we're talking about when we're talking about mostly girls here, but we're talking about girls getting, attacked, it's usually going to be a sexual assault. In most cases, when that happens, it's someone you know. It's not the guy in the alley, you know what I mean? It's not the guy in the parking lot. That could happen, yes. But it's sometimes when you're around someone you know and you're taken off guard. So you gotta kind of have to put your shield up, you know what I mean? And it's good that you're here learning self-defense. We'll probably do another one, next year. I don't know, whenever y'all graduate. What grade are y'all in? Junior, sophomore, freshman? Okay. So we'll do this maybe a few more times. So keep showing up, keep practicing, have fun. I'm glad you guys had fun today. But at the base of this all, it's like serious, and I want you to really be able to protect yourself. Any questions? Anything at all? No? All right, so 3 things. Did we have fun?
Yes.
Did we learn?
Yes.
Did we sweat?
Yes.
Mission accomplished. Give yourself a hand.